Hello, it's Brendan from techbuzzireland. Today we have the Gatekeeper Halberd token. Gatekeeper is a proximity-based two-factor authentication technology which can be used in corporate compliance, cybersecurity through the mass authentication using wireless authentication. And I suppose in essence what that really is, it's a combination of a security key, software security key and a password manager for protection. You can get it as an individual or as an enterprise solution. The enterprise solution has lots of features which eliminates shared passwords and manual logins, Windows and Mac compatible, two-factor authentication, Active Directory integration, proximity-based lock and unlock, multiple login methods, does not require physical contact, wireless keys do not require a phone, so you don't need a phone to actually get onto it, and the automated hands-free lock, real-time location, and shared credential information. Centralized access management database and designed can be used in the healthcare approved for there. So in essence, that's a very quick nutshell of what we're talking about here at the moment, and this is what you actually get in the box itself. Comes with a battery there, standard battery just fits into it. Batteries last about 4 to 6 months, but you can buy them in Amazon for say 10 for under €10, so it's not a thing. Pop the thing off and just press it back on. You also get the USB, something like a normal dongle. This one is not labelled. A lot of them can come labelled itself. And I suppose this is a bit of information, what you're doing. And it's quite clear because it just says, go to this particular website, download the single download version there, connect it up, plug it, the USB directly into your laptop, connect the battery, go to new users and run these particular settings. And that's kind of in a quick idea, and we'll give you a quick demo. It can also come with what I would call an extension lead, so that can get plugged directly in. So if you've got a PC or laptop that's not accessible, the main part of it, it's behind a cabinet, for example, the keyboard's just fillable, you can put that there, shove that under it, and the idea is proximity touch it, you go close to it there. You also get around there the thing. This I find handy because what you'd actually do is you tie this onto your swipe card and you keep both together, because common sense is if you're going into a building, swipe card and the Halberd directly open directly, and you can get variations, and then there's clips to make it nice and tidy, but we'll ignore them for the moment. So that's kind of the very quick gist of what you're actually doing, and we'll move these out of the way and we'll go more towards your PC. So this is plugged into a USB. This is connected directly to our PC. And in essence, I've got my dongle, Gatekeeper Halberd, that has to be connecting. First of all, we do is we download the software itself. Obviously, it's available for Mac and PC, but for here we've done a PC. Download it, run it, and this is the version of the software we've got. Now, what we see is the 75%. This is one I've already configured, so it's actually up and running. The one thing to be aware of once it's running is, once the signal decreases, it's going to lock the laptop. So we just go through a quick setup. So it's telling me name, PC, that's there. Battery's good. Battery 4 to 6 months, so it'll give me a warrant to change it. Last seen. Credentials. This is actually laptop name, etc. on there, and it's got a website that I've put on as a path manager, as a test website. Essence, what we're going to do is, I can go in some settings here, and this is the address, and these are all the details. So when I'm adding a new one, go down to the plus, I do a search. What it's actually doing is it's searching which of these tokens are around. So it's found it. So if I had 3, 4, 5 of these connecting, so if I had 4 different staff members wanted to connect to this laptop, I could do a refresh search, connect them all, and I put them all on a list here. And that's kind of a quick idea, that I can have this laptop for me as my own, or I could have a just shared laptop has 4, 5, 10 different users directly. This could connect onto 5 different laptops, PCs in a building. Quite relevant if you're in a corporate environment where ISO 27001 you want to lock your laptop in Sean. But we go through there. And we'll close out of there and we'll go back to the dashboard. Now, once I've configured, set up there, you'll see the 97%. If I deliberately move this away, I just walked away, I've put out of bin. First thing you'll notice is locked. So my laptop is now locked. I can't get access to it. So if I just walked away for a cup of coffee and took a phone call, nobody can access the thing. I haven't actually touched the screen to do anything. When I'm going to go back and get the item back again, with the Bluetooth technology, I've just brought this back. Okay, I'll put in my password and we'll go yes. One thing you'll notice straight away was the Bluetooth. So the technology on this is actually Bluetooth, which means that if it was Wi-Fi, you'd have a far better range, but we don't need the range, and it's far more susceptible to hacking. So if somebody was trying to go at this, there needs to be in the proximity of the Bluetooth range. Straight away, what you've just seen there is the quality. So as soon as this disappears from here, my computer locks. How the settings, so I can have its settings itself, and these are all the settings I can set it up. In this situation is unlock method. I've actually put it with Gatekeeper and the pin. If I just wanted to have it that I could only walk over to it and it'll unlock, I could do that. For added security, it's good to have the Gatekeeper and pin. So if this was in an open office or an environment where people are coming and going, you could leave a laptop in a room. Anybody can see it, but nobody has access to it. Anybody with one of these configured can actually automatically just walk over, touch it. We can set it that they have a PIN code or not. It's a unique PIN code to them, but you don't have to have it. Very useful if, for example, is you're coming in and out of a room, and they have mentioned in the hospital settings where somebody might walk into a room and log onto a computer system. If it was a password, it's very easy for anybody to overlook it, watch it, and what's actually going on. It's got lots of other options there. They say proximity method, how you want to lock it. And these can be configured yourself without any token visibility. How quickly it logs out without changing a PIN. Another common question we'll get is, well, typically Monday morning you forget your Halberd coming through, your Gatekeeper coming in. What do you do? If it's in a corporate environment, what you would generally have is they'd have some spares. And as you swipe card, they'd actually configure it back onto the dashboard, and you'd add a new dashboard onto it. So you'd add there. So you could add that one for the day, so you're up and using it. So in the event that you're out, come back in, you connect a new one in there. The IT department could set it up to run for tonight, run for a week. Obviously, the enterprise solution would be corporate. Well, this is just an individual IDs there. And they could obviously add new users for the enterprise version. And that's a kind of a very quick synopsis about me physically getting onto my laptop. How do I get onto the laptop itself? Once I'm onto the laptop, then that was the software we're doing. I actually download the Gatekeeper Password Manager. What that actually does is itself, I have it enabled. You'll see an item over here, which is basically the. So when I go onto a specific website, for example, and it's configured, it'll ask you for your username and password. 9 times out of 10, within a week or two, I won't remember those details. Here I can configure it in a safe environment because it's software controlled. And I can get an idea of what's actually moving it. Also, some sites will give you a one-time password, an OTP. That actually means that I can actually configure it for specific websites. So some you can generate rather than having it. This is just a test one I did myself. And we'll go back. And you can go generate. So I can actually have specific websites that have got a one-time password, which I will put in there. It's a bit like having a credit card that's just been used, a once-off use, so it'll change. And it can be a really long code that's practically impossible to break in. So in other words, when the hackers do normally go on, check your credentials on a site. If you haven't changed the password in the last 2 or 3 months, you reuse the password, you just open yourself for trouble. So here is a methodology of actually securing your password as a password manager. And going back to the beginning, what I mentioned was, what was the whole idea of here? Number one, proximity detector. So as when I get onto my laptop, get onto my PC, nobody can get onto my PC. So the ISO 27001 good practice is, once you walk away from your thing, lock your PC, because cybersecurity protection is always important. Continuing on that same frame, when you're on a website, it is recommended to change your password every month. Trying to have 5, 10, 15 different passwords from your bank to your LinkedIn, to your Facebook, to your Salesforce, to your business applications becomes a challenge. This is a way of ensuring that it's automated in the background. You don't have to keep remembering it here at the moment. And anything that makes life easier. And as the future goes on, cybersecurity is not the most exciting technology because we only use it when we need it. This makes life easier. So we don't have to think, as an IT department, you don't have to think of it. It does it in the background. You've also got a button here. So if I do want to lock it, I can actually lock it directly, and I put in it. So I just press that button, just locked it there at the moment. So when I walk away, when I do actually lose it completely, you've got other backup options that you can get around it. So that's an overview of the Gatekeeper. Is this a gimmick? Is this just something as a one-off type scenario? It is approved for the healthcare system. Obviously, once you mentioned there, they have stringent controls, stringent criteria that's actually required. This is actually real positive. But even for other uses, if you've got a vehicle, for example, on site that you walk away from regularly, that's something like a Mac Windows-based system that needs to be locked as soon as somebody leaves the vehicle here, here's an ideal opportunity to. On a personal level, I'd say 5 or 10 years time, I'd love to see it integrated into my swipe card, because when I'm in a building, I will normally have a swipe card attached to it. Whereas this is probably bulky, and as technology changes, it will probably decrease in size. Having a battery, bit of a pain. It should save time for IT departments not having to go to rechange passwords, because we all know we go on holidays, we come back into the office on a Monday morning and go, oh, I forgot my password. What is my password? This should actually save that details. It's also for compliance. It's quite good because you don't have to worry about staff. Are they doing it or are they not? Because 9 times out of 10, it becomes easy and you become lackadaisical and you don't bother, and it becomes a challenge unless you're really eating. This takes the work out of it there at the moment, and nobody minds just swiping it off the USB drive. So you're just basically touching it there, and if you can't get access to it, you have an extension long cable there. It has worked very well. It does take a few minutes to get used to it, but anybody who's fairly IT literate, etc., can quite easily do it. As a one-off, you can go directly to the Gatekeeper's website. If you're buying or getting a group one, there is a trial which you can actually use. So I strongly recommend go for the demo, go for the trial. There is local partners in a variety of different countries. Might be worth talking to a local company that can actually give you a bit of more support, how integration into your own system there. And thank you for watching TechBuzz Ireland.